Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. It is Thursday, June 1st. Well, news came out the other day that there are audio tapes. Lordy, there are tapes of Donald Trump basically purporting to have classified documents in front of him, saying that he should have declassified them, but he didn't. And he's showing these documents to people. And the people that he's allegedly showing them to were people that were writing a memoir for Mark Meadows. And apparently a Trump aide was recording Trump during people's memoirs or when they were interviewing him as part of a normal course of action during these interviews. So now there's audio tapes of Trump basically saying he had classified documents that he had not declassified. And yeah, that's bad. That's really, really bad. I mean, between all the public statements he made about the documents were his and he declassified stuff, and here he's saying he didn't declassify these, and she's showing them to people. This guy's in a world of hurt. So for anybody who's watching this that's a big Donald Trump supporter and a big MAGA supporter, this is not a MAGA-friendly channel. You've been warned. And stop making excuses for this guy. I mean, stop making excuses. He's a grown-ass man. He's made his mistakes, and he knew he made mistakes, and he did them anyways. If he wants to commit felonies, hey, that's on him. So, plant your flag somewhere else. Don't die on this hill. Not for that man. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't apparently care about the stuff he does to himself. Okay. So for everybody else, I want to find out the energy currently around the documents case, because that just went from bad to horrific, and with tapes that you can submit as evidence. Oh, Lordy, there are tapes. Jim Comey. You have to find a Jim Comey shirt. I've got my Robert Mueller shirt. You have to find a Jim Comey shirt that says, Lordy, there are tapes. Okay, for entertainment purposes only, what's the energy spirit that's surrounding the Mar-a-Lago Documents case now that it's been revealed to us that there's audio tapes, but obviously the DOJ's known about this for a while. Temperance, patience, we're putting it all together. Basically, all the pieces of the puzzle are coming together, and the plan's coming together nicely. And the sun is rising. This is not good if you are somebody who is doing something illegal. Crossed with the King of Swords, Jack Smith. Yeah, this is just, he's large, he's in charge, and that boy ain't fooling around. Now the question is, will there be espionage charges that come from this? This is the type of guy that would take this case coming all together and saying, yes, there is espionage going on. What's underneath the deck? Plans, next steps. This could very well be the next steps. What happens now that we've got all this? How do we go with this? This is probably going to Merrick Garland saying, hey, we have an espionage case. I want to charge the president with that. Are you going to let me? Did you ever think you would live to see the day that we'd have a former president be charged with espionage? I mean, and for most of us, Nixon was just the most horrific president ever as far as his behaviors in the office go. And he was just considered like the worst president. And it was in our lifetimes. And now we had somebody say, here, hold my beer. In the past, I think what's been happening here is that you've got the Justice Department keeping all this evidence under wraps, having to be quiet while Trump and his supporters just run their mouths. And they've been sitting here collecting data and holding on to it tightly so that nobody knows what's going on, so that they can continue to interview people and gather more information, more things of value to it. This is also Donald Trump holding on to things of value, things that he thinks belongs to him, but don't, and he wouldn't give them up. You see how the two are tied. Matter of fact, it's an interesting juxtaposition, isn't it? You have one person who's doing it out of purely selfish reasons, He wants them. He thinks they're his and they're valuable, so he wants to hold on to them until he can get something of value for it. And then you have other people who also have information that's valuable, but they're holding on to themselves because they want to be able to prosecute a case and do it in a just manner. Selfishness versus selflessness. Current situation, the magician. And Trump's not going to be able to magic his way. He's not going to be able to magic his way out of this one. I think now it's bringing all the pieces are now coming together. The magician has all the suits on his table, and he's got his wand, and he can do anything he wants. And I think what this is telling me is Jack Smith and the government have everything they need now. They have everything they need. It's what are they going to manifest with it? So that's 2 major arcana so far out of the first 5 cards. Current situation, or the overarching energy, is the Queen of Pentacles. Again, this is about practicality, making everything has a use, and you can find a use for everything. But it's also something of value that she's holding on to in her lap. So I think that you could look at this as the Justice Department looking at, oh my God, this thing has been dropped in their lap. This whole case, this whole thing has been bundled up and put in Merrick Garland's lap, of anybody. And what are you going to do with it? The public now knows quite a bit of what's going on, of what's been shared. And you can't act like it didn't happen at this point. This would have been one of those things that if Trump had just given the documents back when the FBI and the National Archives asked for them back, if he had just given them back, there'd be nothing here. And remember how Donald Trump said that this was a library book case. This is about like an overdue library book. No, it's not. Not even close, dude. Not that we're surprised he was lying, but for the maybe the less MAGA people, it's got to be shocking that all this that's coming out. They'd be saying, but he said it was just a library. But no, he lied. Dude, come on. What's the lesson to be learned? Well, that was dumb. That was a naive move on his part, wasn't it? Lesson to be learned. In the past, we had a certain trust of our government and our government officials that they would do the right thing and pass along the country to the next person. And this person didn't do that. He didn't hand the flowers over. He threw them on the ground and stomped on them. And he doesn't respect tradition. He doesn't respect what was done yesterday. He just does whatever a petulant little child would do. And they will still treat him with kid gloves. Because he's a former president. Trust me, if this guy wasn't the former president, oh man. Not that he'd have access to any of this stuff, but he'd be crucified. And that wouldn't even, I don't like using that word because it implies Jesus, and this man is nothing similar to Jesus. But they would have strung him up, and he would be in prison for the rest of his life, and maybe a couple future lifetimes too. Outcome. The Empress. Okay. Well, now we got to think about what's here. This is both good and bad because this is kind of thinking about what's going to be in the best interest of the country. I would have rather seen the Justice card or the Ace of Swords. Cold, hard truth. Hold the man accountable. This is going to be what's going to be in the best interest of the country. And sometimes what's in the best interest of the country doesn't fit our desire for blood and revenge. And you can think of it, again, we've got under the planning going on with the Two of Wands. You can think of it as how rabid the Trump supporters were to lock Hillary up. They wanted their pound of flesh. They wanted that woman thrown in prison. Now, had she committed some crimes that were worthy of charging her, well, that's the energy I'm going with here. And just because we want him in prison doesn't mean that that's in the best interest of the country. And we don't get to make that choice. We just get to sit here and, again, armchair quarterback this whole situation. So that's what's going on right now. Garland's got some big time decisions he needs to make. But he's got everything he needs to do it. And everything's come together nicely. So, what are you going to do? How are you going to play this? That part's not decided yet, or at least that hasn't been answered in this one. Which now leads to 3 questions. How is Donald Trump feeling? How's Merrick Garland feeling? And how's Jack Smith feeling? Because each one of them is going to have an opinion here. Trump did go on social media to say that it's a leftist hoax and all of the normal stuff that he would say on something like that. And the DOJ, of course, said nothing. For entertainment purposes only, man. Okay. How's Donald feeling? You know what? Let's do Merrick Garland first. How's Merrick Garland feeling? Let's do how Jack Smith's feeling. How's Jack Smith feeling? We'll go up. Jack Smith, how you feeling, my friend? He's ready to make the next move. Next move, let's go. He's got other cases he needs to work on too. So if it's true that he's wrapped up the Mar-a-Lago documents case, he's already working on the next stuff. He's already looking at the next cases down there because he's handed this off and somebody else needs to make a decision. End of a cycle. yeah, okay. So that tells me that the Mar-a-Lago case probably it's wrapped up. He's wrapped that one up. Or in his mind, he's wrapped that up. There's just loose ends maybe that need to be tied off, but the big stuff's done. Yep, it's completed. And he's happy how it looks. Because the truth is coming out. What great cards. So yeah, Jack Smith, and underneath it, there's the Temperance card again. So Jack Smith's like, yeah, I'm getting ready to move on. Everything's been integrated in this case. It's done. It's over. It looks great. This case is solid. The truth is out there, and it's the end of this guy. It's the end of this case. It's the end of this guy. Trump is finished. This case right here just finished Trump. It's just a matter of when it goes to the courts. Okay? All right. And I'm real comfortable with that evaluation on it, given everything that we know about this case and the severity of it, and the fact that it could be considered, basically treason. He's a traitor to the country. I heard rumor that some of the documents involve the U.S. attack plan or something like that against Iran. When did he suddenly become Iran's best friend? And you don't take these documents and you don't hold on to those documents. He knows they're valuable. Why? Of all the documents, if he wants to keep a Kim Jong-un love letter to him, whatever. But the U.S. attack plan on Iran? Yeah, that's not something that's, coffee table book type stuff. You take that because it's valuable. Are you trading it for money? Are you trading it for favors? Or are you trading it for leverage? Okay. So Jack Smith's, how he's feeling. How's Merrick Garland feeling with this whole situation? Spirit. Whoops. Okay, there's the one card popped up. It's the and it was the Magician. So he's got everything he needs. It's time for him to make a decision. How big is he going to go? Okay, let's find out. Walking away. Does that mean he's walking away from the case, or is it he sees Trump walking away? However, the part of this case was that it's going to be in the best interest of the U.S. and is that letting Trump go to a golf tournament in Saudi Arabia in November? He's walking away. Evaluation. The 7 of coins, the 10 of coins, and the Knight of Swords. Okay. And then underneath it is the 7 of Cups, the illusions and delusions. Okay. So he's taking his time. I don't think he's ready to charge treason yet. I think he's going to wait. He wants to wait to see us how other cases are going, probably. But this is also a huge decision for him to make. You're talking again about charges up to treason of the ex-president of the United States. And this is very weighty on him. He has a lot to consider with this, and this is not going to be a snap judgment on him. He's going to evaluate everything, both the good and the bad, on his charging decision. Why? Because his legacy and the legacy of the United States depends on this. Not to mention, this is a huge case of power and wealth and the abuse of all those things. He's going to evaluate if this is what should be done. Is this in the best interest of the country? And it's going to keep him up at nights. This is going to stress him out. Get the giant Costco-sized bottle of Tums ready, because this man is going to be under a lot of pressure. Okay, so that's his cards. That could have been Trump's cards too, right? Gotta go. I'm going. I'm leaving. I'm going to Crazy Town. That's an interesting thought. That 8 of Cups and the 7 of Cups underneath it. Wonder if he thinks Trump is certifiable. Needs to be put in a facility. I think we'd be happy if he went to a mental health hospital. I think I'd be okay with that. He doesn't necessarily have to be in an orange jumpsuit. I think a straitjacket would be perfectly fine for him. Leave a note. Leave a message in the comments. Maybe I should put a poll. Orange jumpsuit, straitjacket. All right. Donald, how are you feeling right now? All this information that's come out, plus everything else you've got going on. How is the Donald feeling right now? How is Donald Trump feeling right now with all this information about the Mar-a-Lago document case? Okay, let's see. He is out to negotiate. Oh, that of course, because he had his lawyers reach out to not Jack Smith, but Merrick Garland. He wants to talk and he wants to make a deal. Dude, 2 years ago, you should have made a deal. 3 years ago, you should have made a deal to accept the election results. 2 years ago, you should have made the deal of handing over everything that you had. He just, there he is. Gets everything that he wants whenever he wants it. He's never been said no to in his life, and there's no reason to think he'll be said no to now. Backroom deals. Hey, I got some extra things for you, we can work it out. And then the 9 of Wands. Okay. And then underneath it, oh dear, guess who's on his mind is Jack Smith again. Okay, he's worried about Jack Smith. He's going to try and cut a deal. He is going to try and cut a deal. Now, is that in knowing Trump, he never has one iron in the fire. He's got multiple irons in the fire. All right? So this is going to be multiple deals. This is going to be deals with the U.S. government, and this is going to be deals with non-U.S. government. Think countries with non-extradition treaties. Because there's backroom dealings going on. Again, with the DOJ, this would be dark dealings because they're going to be discussing things of value that are national secrets, and you want to keep it down the down low. It's not something you advertise. But he will also be talking with other people. It's funny that the guy in the dots has what looks like, the head dressings that they would wear in the Middle East. Just saying. He's also going to be cutting deals in the background with other countries. Maybe 2 of them at the time. Because, and we have, interesting also, we have 2 9s. We have a 9 of Cups and a 9 of Wands. But he's going to negotiate with the other countries because he feels he has goodwill towards them. He's a businessman. He's wealthy, and that's just his best life. With the government, he is scared because he knows they're coming for him. And he knows there's no defense against that. And the person he's scared of is this guy because he cannot intimidate. He can't get in this guy's head. This guy's a stone cold killer. And he can't get inside his head. All right. Longish video. So Spirit, Will they bring treason charges against Donald Trump? Will Merrick Garland bring treason charges against Donald Trump? November can't come fast enough for this guy. That's when that golf tournament is. Will they bring charges of treason against Donald Trump? They're thinking about it. They're waiting on it. They don't know what they're waiting for. Let's see. We'll throw a second signifier with that one. They're waiting on it, and because it's a nightmare. It's the worst case scenario. He does not want to jump into this. He really doesn't want to do this. Juggling, there could also be a spy in the camp. Are there compromises? Is there something that can be done that avoids this situation? You know what? Maybe there isn't. This might be one of those life path things. This might be basically what's it going to take to shock free most of the Trump supporters. This is it. There's secrets, back deals, things going on, and the Ace of Pentacles, a big offer of something of value. And again, there's that nostalgia card, kind of a naivety. I think Merrick Garland, he wants to wait and really consider this. He's thinking about, what's funny, right underneath this card is the King of Pentacles. He's thinking about this country and the way it used to be, and Donald Trump is right underneath that. This is a nightmarish decision, because he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't. And he doesn't know what to do yet. Maybe he's waiting for more information to come out. It's just he doesn't have that insight or that conviction. He's juggling things. He's trying to decide which is the best decision. But I think it's going to be obvious to him what he's going to have to do. It's going to be obvious. And this offer could be letting Trump live in exile. That could be an offer that's made in something like this. That offer could be that they'll put him in house arrest. You don't give him house arrest. You put him in a Looney Tune bin is what you do. I don't think they'll put him in prison, but they might give him an offer he can't refuse. Okay. When Trump is given an offer, is he going to take it? Is he going to flee? Is he going to do both? That'd be like Trump to do both, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'll take a plea deal. And then he flees. Okay. Now, I've thrown on this multiple times. The last time I threw on this, I came up with the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. He's out and trying to make deals and pretend to be a good friend and offer things of value and play on people's emotions. Is Trump going to flee? He's going to try and cut a deal. What's Trump going to do once this one? There's the Moon card again. He's got secrets. It's not to be revealed yet. But it's a Tower moment. Wheel of Fortune. And the Queen of Wands. More cases coming. And there's the Magician underneath it. Okay, so underneath is the offer or what's going on. But we still don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what Merrick Garland's going to do. That's not revealed yet. The path hasn't been fully laid out yet. But it's going to be the end of Trump, and there's more cases coming on. So this is my very long reading on the Documents case. End of the day, your take-home notes, Trump is done. Regardless of what happens out of all this, Trump is done as a political force. He's done as a free citizen. He's done in this lifetime of having any type of credibility, I guess would be a good word for it. The MAGA people will love him because they just do. But for the rest of us, we're going to find out that Moon card's probably going to say, you're going to start finding out all sorts of stuff about this guy. And it's going to be horrific. Not that we haven't guessed that, but it might be even worse than we think it is. Okay, so that's my reading on the Documents case. I hope you enjoyed it. I've not watched any of the readers because I wanted to read on it first, and now I've got a lot of catching up to do. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.